Hey guys. So video number 2. Last time or last week, last video number 1 was my everyday carry bag, which is my Wandered Provoke 21 liter. So I'm on to my second bag now of a few. So this will be a fun little series on backpacks, giving you my point of view on these from an amateur level who has used them for roughly about a year. Some I've used a lot, some I've used a few times, but they've all kind of wedge their way into a place, or at least an opinion from me. So I want to share them. So the first bag that I actually got was this one. This is the Brevite Jumper bag. I really like this bag for a couple reasons. One, it's super light. This is their regular. They have a large as well. This is 18 liters. The large I think is 21 liters, so it's slightly bigger. Just depends on whether you want to maximize the space or it's too much as is. 18 is plenty for you, but for me, it depends on what you're using the bag for. And one of the things I've learned is that when you buy a bunch of different bags for different reasons, you want to hone in on what those reasons are and buy a bag specifically for those reasons. So if this is, let's just say, like an everyday photography bag that you're wearing around like the city and doing street photography, maybe you don't want a lot of excess. Maybe you want to make it really small. Maybe you're only bringing a couple pieces of gear. So for that reason, you don't really need to go to the 21 liter versus the 18. So I think for my use case with this bag, the 18 is plenty. So yeah, the reason I originally got this was because I didn't have a lot of gear at the beginning. I had a camera and a lens, just one. And I needed something to basically carry that, plus any other purchases that I may get at some point, and also carry my laptop. Also have a sling for a tripod or a water bottle. And I desperately thought that side access would be huge, so I got that for that reason as well. Other than that, they do have kind of like a hidden pocket back here, which is good for, you know, keys, wallet, passport, and then you have your luggage crossover there. So I love this bag for a couple reasons. Mainly because it's inconspicuous. I don't know if everybody knows the company JanSport or remembers the JanSports from a long time ago, like the 90s. But this reminds me of a JanSport backpack that you would use in elementary school. They were very bare bones. I can actually pull up a picture of it and pop it on here if you don't know that company. But yeah, it was just the main compartment, which you'd put your book bag, your books in, and then you'd have the front one, which was for everything else. That was it. It was a very simple backpack. And I believe that they took some inspo from that company when designing this. But as soon as I saw this, that's exactly what I thought of in a good way. The top compartment here is kind of like a garage where you can have a lot of excess space. But yeah, within here, you can fit a whole setup. So if you were vlogging, let's just say, you can have full camera with microphone attached, put it in here, no problem. If you're hiking, this is great for snacks, maybe an extra layer, or a place to put an extra layer if you get warm. Down here, there are 2 pockets. There is the one for basically your kind of equipment and tech, and then you have an access pocket, which gets you into the actual backpack. So if we look first in the backpack, they have dividers here. There's a couple more with a top wall right here. And really all that I use this for would be 1 camera and 1 lens, separate from the one on. So 2 lenses, one on the camera with the camera, and then a separate second lens. Let me show you. So for instance, I have right here, can you see this? Yeah. I have my Sony a7R5 with the Sigma 24-70. So this I would normally just kind of jam in here. I would normally have should protect the lens. Okay, there we go. Just like this. I always have the lens facing up. And then if I want to put another lens in here, so I have the 24-70 on the camera. The camera that I'm using right here actually has my 16-35. So I'm going to pretend that I'm using a macro lens. Maybe I'm going out hiking and photographing bugs. I don't know, but let's just pretend. So this is going to go in here as well. So a separate lens. You can organize this any way you want. I kind of just leave it this way so I could fit multiple things and just kind of jam it around. There's not a specific use case where it never changes. You know, depending on what I'm doing, this will always change. So I just want to keep these dividers kind of in here and then just move them around so that they're dividing and protecting, but also keeping things kind of snug. Anyway, that's pretty much how that is. I normally wouldn't be jamming this with things for a lot of reasons. The main reason I don't want to overfill this is these straps serve their purpose, but nothing more. So, you know, they are very kind of, you know, run-of-the-mill shoulder straps here. And they do have padding, they're great, but you do not want to overload this bag because these will just dig right into your shoulder. So you want to keep this as light as possible. This is kind of like an everyday like action bag for me. Not that I'm doing a lot of action, but you know, like if I'm going hiking or I'm walking around town or I'm in a, you know, I'm on vacation and we're walking through, you know, a foreign city, this is something I want to have in my bag with 2 shoulder straps versus like a sling, but I don't want to overload this. So yeah, as well, I also have the Peak Design capture clip on here, right there, which I love. But once I'm out there, whatever I'm doing, I would clip the camera in here, making this even lighter. Now, the side access pocket right here, when I first started, I thought this would be huge. So, you know, taking off, pulling around, and accessing a camera like this, but like, what am I doing? You know, I'm not on Safari where I'm like, oh my God, I need my camera right now. So, you know, I don't really see the need to be in such a desperate position that I have to do this to get the camera versus just taking it off for like 1 second. On top of that, by taking it off, while I take the camera out, I can just make sure everything is what I need it to be. Depending on the lighting conditions, do I need to change the ND filter or put one on or take one off? Is it super bright? Is it not? Do I want to use this lens? Did I bring another one? What's the reasoning? So it's rare that I'm just in an immediate rush to grab the camera to take a picture of nothing. So I never actually use the side access, and I have a few bags where they have that, and I've come to realize I don't need it. That's just me, that's my personal preference, but I don't need it. Anyway, that's that. So in here is where you would kind of put whatever. You could put in some batteries, maybe the Osmo Pocket 3, maybe a separate SD card, some ND filters for either this camera here or that camera there. This is a minimal and minimalistic bag for minimalism. A lot of people kind of sell this bag as like a one and all. You know, you can go as light or as heavy as you want, and you can, but for the price, I think I'd almost rather separate the two and have one bag for one purpose, which is a little bit more meatier, and then this bag for lighter every day. When I first got the bag, I also used the laptop pouch a lot. You can see that. It actually does fit a 16-inch laptop. I have a 16-inch MacBook, and it's snug. It's super tight, but it gets in there perfectly, and it's got the, you know, the water-resistant zippers here. So I do use it on occasion. You know, if I'm going somewhere and I want to bring a laptop, great. If I'm going to a coffee shop, I'll bring it, great. Sometimes if I don't even have a camera, I just need something to carry my laptop in, I'll just bring this bag. It's better than a bigger bag or a sling, and I could just shove the laptop in, maybe my headphones, and then maybe a small camera like this just in case. So that's kind of the use case. You got to balance this bag for its intended purpose, and it does it very well. But the second you overdo it is the second you'll start to dislike this backpack, and it's not the backpack's fault. Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to learn. This is video 2. I don't know if you saw my first video, but I'm learning this entire process, and it's a bit overwhelming. So I'm doing little steps at a time. In every video, I want to learn and improve in at least one way. So, for instance, last time I was looking at this screen where I can see myself a lot, and I was not looking this way a lot. And I noticed that watching it back, and it was the first thing I noticed, which was, okay, I need to be looking more at the camera, not up there, because it completely disconnects me from you, and I need to break that habit. I need to look directly at the camera. So I'm trying to do that. That's something to get used to, and in due time that'll get better. But I'm aware of it, which is great. So 1, I'm going to do that. 2, in terms of lighting, I actually swapped the lights. So my more powerful key light, which is the Aperture 120D, but it was over here. And I moved it from there to here because there is a wall that goes to here, and then there's a little bit of an opening, and it's kind of tucked into that opening over there, but it's not on a great 45. So I was trying to create a little bit of a a dramatic scene where I have the key light here and then a little bit of fill and create a little bit of a shadow on this side. So I'm learning a bit. I think I'm looking up on purpose. I think I'm doing a better job. I didn't want to make this too dark, and I didn't want to make this too bright. So I think in terms of exposure, this is pretty good. My skin's up maybe a hair bright, but like I was trying to balance the back and this. So I'm exposing to myself, and therefore the back just gets crushed. But I think overall it's pretty good. I mean, maybe I can come down a little bit. I have an ND filter on there, and this is only at like 50%, not even. But anyway, I'm trying to learn. So I moved this light from over here to over here so that I can get a better 45 onto my face so it's not over spilling into this side. And then I have another fill light over here, which you can see on my hand right now. And that is at like 20%. So it's literally just providing enough to give. But either way, I'm trying to improve on the lighting. So I think it's an improvement. The problem is now the background. I mean, you can see, I'm going the wrong way. You can see the shadows over here, obviously a problem. So I'm gonna work on these as well. The whole background, I'll start to improve. I'll see if I can get like a backfill light as well as like a hair light, or maybe it's one and the same. I'm not sure, but so that was 2. I was trying to improve number 2 on lighting. 3, I was doing a camera bag review and I didn't have a camera, and I didn't realize that until after everything was set up. So I've changed that. So now I have the same camera over here, which is my Sony ZV-E1. But up here, instead of my A7R5, I have the Osmo Pocket 3. So I'm hoping, I mean, it's recording in D-Log-M, so I'm hoping I can kind of match off these two footages. So, one more thing to improve upon. I had no ending. My camera died, and then I turned it back on, and immediately went to the next camera review, which was a sling bag. So I never even said goodbye. I never did anything beyond that point. So there's another point of improvement for me, is making sure that I finish videos. So this is me editing it and getting to the end and going, where's the rest of the clip? And I literally like fished for the rest of the clip, and I'm like, where is it? And there is no extra clip. I never finished. So this is me signing off. I apologize for that. I'm literally editing it right now. This is weeks later. But yeah, apologies. So there is something else to learn about. That is something to improve upon, is finishing videos.